Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers.
What is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Monday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, you know, we have a lot of catching up to do as far as the Los Angeles Lakers are concerned. And I do want to say my apologies for not being available for the past few days and the past 3 games, which were all losses. So I don't want you guys to think that, you know, B New is absence in the hard times, because, you know, I'm here for it all, you know, good or bad. But at the end of the day, you know, I had a lot of travel and I was back and forth from the East to the West Coast. And I had a lot of jet lag and I was tired. So that was, you know, to do with my main job. But at the end of the day, that's what pays my bills. So that's what I got to focus on. Now, if y'all can get me up to a couple 100,000 subscribers and I can start getting some money every month for YouTube, hey, I'll do 5 shows a day. I cover every single team in the league. I will do some in-depth analysis. But at the same time, you know, I'm giving you all the best that I can. So like I said, apologies. I'm trying to do a video at least every single day, at least every single game, you know, at worst. But anyway, I'm going to do a quick recap of those games. I don't want to go into too much details. We all know the Lakers, you know, I thought they would finish quite well on that road trip. It started off, it looked so promising. You know, Anthony Davis and LeBron James were playing so well. But of course, we all know what unfolded over the course of those last three or four games on the road. So we know, you know, in the Cleveland game, you know, Anthony Davis came out first play of the game. Well, he did have it. Turnover, 24-second shot clock violation. But after that, the nice assist to LeBron to get the dunk. And you thinking, hey, this is going to turn out pretty good. But of course, we all know AD was fighting something. I feel like I might be fighting something a little bit myself now. But anyway, he was fighting something as far as, you know, his sickness and, you know, flu-like symptoms, wasn't feeling well. So he had to lead the game, within the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game. I think he might have played 7 or 8 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, but was not very effective because he just couldn't strengthen his way through that. You know, if you're having temperature and feeling bad, I'm sure all of you know that, you know, it's pretty tough to get through. So at the end of the day, he was not available. The Lakers did play strong through 3 quarters, and it was looking pretty good for them. They had the lead at one point. I don't want to go into too much detail because I have to be going off from memory. I hadn't made any notes or anything like that. But from what I do remember, you know, the Lakers were right there, you know, up until that 4th quarter kind of blew up in their face. And if I remember correctly, it was the last 5 or 6 minutes in which the Lakers just allowed Donovan Mitchell to go on a complete tear, is from what I remember. And where was Pat Bev, his so-called good defense? Where was that at? You know, so at the end of the day, good offense is going to be good defense every time. But I'm going to get more into that Pat Bev situation in just a minute once we talk more about the Detroit game. But of course, you know, the next game, LeBron sat out. It was the second night of a back-to-back. Of course, you know he's been nursing that high ankle sprain that he received, I think, in the Spurs game, and then hurt it again, I want to say, in the Wizards game. But at the end of the day, that's something that, you know, he has been nursing. And of course, he had the sore foot prior to that. So, you know, the more games he could get rest, the better. But of course, you know, he just didn't have it in him for that second back-to-back, dealing with all that pain. And then that was a chance for the Lakers role players to get better. And of course, you know, Toronto spanked them, which was sad to see, because I don't understand why during that game, Russell Westbrook would still come off of the bench, considering that LeBron is out and AD is out. I would have started Westbrook. You know, I know he's been coming off the bench or whatever, but, you know, start the man when your other 2 superstars are out, because I want to say they fell behind like 12-0 in the first few minutes. Then you bring Westbrook off the bench, and then, of course, you kind of make it a game, you know, some back and forth. But at that point, you know, when you're down by too much, if you don't have great shooters and things of that nature, it's going to be tough to come back and get yourself involved in a game. So at the end of the day, you know, that was not good. So that started that skid. And then, of course, we all know during the Philly game, I was looking forward to that matchup. Did get a chance to take in all of that game. And it was just unfortunate that Anthony Davis got into such early foul trouble. And B did come to play. He looked excellent. I mean, he was hitting everything. I think he came to prove a point to say, everybody been talking about AD. Everybody been saying how great AD been playing, MVP type performances from AD. So he came to play and said, you know what? No, we're not going to have that. But we never really got to see the matchup, because in all honesty, you get 3 fouls in the first quarter. I mean, that just really puts you at a disadvantage because even that third foul that he picked up was an off-the-ball foul from a cutter cutting back door. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with a foul like that being called. I'm not saying you look the other way, but at the end of the day, I think that was being a little bit too much, you know, calling them a little bit too closely, especially in regards to AD, because during that same quarter, or either maybe it was the second quarter, AD was going up for a lob. Embiid clearly had his arm on him, pushed the man, he fell. He didn't get the and one or nothing. So I'm trying to figure out, why this wasn't called so evenly. Of course, the 76ers almost suffered a huge collapse during that game. As you know, the Lakers was down by 15 with like maybe 4 or 5 minutes left, and they came back. And then, Austin Reaves did miss, he could have hit three threes and it went to overtime, so you might would have had the same outcome. So we won't focus on Austin Reaves' miss, but AD had a chance to actually win the game because he hit his first free throw and tied it up. The second free throw would have put them ahead by one, and by putting them ahead by one with 1 second, 2 seconds at the most, with them having no timeouts, I would have said that was pretty much would have been the game, and the Lakers would have completed one of the best comebacks. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't to be. So the Lakers had to then come back and get things right and take on a team like Detroit. And of course, everybody was saying that Detroit is not a formidable opponent. And of course, we see what their record is, but Detroit is playing outstanding basketball. They beat Dallas the other night. I mean, spanked them. So, any given night in the NBA is going to be a challenge. These young boys is gunning and they hooping and they not going to take, no for an answer. So at the end of the day, there's no gimmies. It's like the old saying, any given Sunday in the NFL. Well, it's like that in the NBA right now, because if you can look at the standings, everything is tight. Everybody is beating up on everybody, especially in the Western Conference. Even though the Lakers are 11-15 right now, we would have hoped that they would have been right at 500, coming back to end their road trip, but it was just not to be. So we know tomorrow night the Lakers are going to be in a marquee matchup, taking on the Celtics. Now that we know what happened to the Celtics Saturday night, the clamps was put down on Tatum, and, we hope that the Lakers can do the same thing. But, of course, the Celtics do have the Clippers tonight, and then they will be on the second night of the back-to-back. That has been favoring the Lakers this season. They've been getting a lot of teams on the second night of back-to-back, so hopefully they can take advantage of Boston. Maybe the Clippers can put them through the ringer, make them play a tight, close game, to have them starters play the full game and be fully exhausted. So when they come up against LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday night, they can show them who the king of LA is. But, that's a subject that we can talk about tomorrow in the pregame show. But trying to go back to the Detroit basketball game, the Lakers, LeBron James had 35 points. He was 35, 5 and 5. 14 of 24 from the field, 58%. He was only 2 out of 6 from 3 at 33%. But the main statistic was LeBron James was a plus 18 on the floor last night. And whenever LeBron James sat, it seems like the Detroit Pistons found their way back into the game. Now, to me, that was a lot to do with Pat Bev. Pat Bev, out of all the starters, Pat Bev was like a +1 or a +2. So, I mean, AD was a +7. Even Austin Reaves off the bench was a +3. I think it is really time that Darvin Ham takes Pat Bev out the starting lineup and just allow Dennis Schroeder to be the starting point guard and let Austin Reaves be the 2. Let Lonnie Walker play the 3, LeBron the 4, and AD the 5, And also, I would have liked to see last night a little bit of combination with Anthony Davis with Thomas Bryant on the floor. Thomas Bryant was playing quite well, defending the rim, doing an excellent job. But at the end of the day, he was substituting in for Anthony Davis. Now, I know that was the only center you had because you didn't get Damian Jones any playing time. And, of course, Wayne and Gabriel is still nursing that sore shoulder. He's going to be evaluated, I think, in the next couple of days to see if he can come back to action. It was a strained shoulder because dude pulled his shoulder at the end of the game. That was kind of petty. I can't remember who did that. But at the end of the day, Wayne and Gabriel, I think, would have made a big difference last night, because really the Lakers should have won this game going away by double digits, but it just wasn't the case because Detroit simply would not go away. Now, Anthony Davis had a big game too. If you think about it, he had 34, 15 and 7, 15 boards, and he was 12 out of 18, 66%. He was a +7 from the floor. Lonnie Walker poured in 18 points, 7 out of 10 shooting, and 4 of those 7 shots were 3-pointers off 6 attempts. So more than half of his shots were 3-point attempts, and he was 4 out of 6 with 67%. And of course, Westbrook Westbrook was a minus, but of course he was paired up with a lot of trash during the game with the likes of Pat Bev. And for the life of me, I can't understand why Pat Bev was in the game the last 7 minutes of the fourth quarter without coming out. I don't see, he's not spreading the floor because he's not an accurate three-point shooter, especially not this season. I mean, he's playing decent defense, but it's not the best because Bogdanovich put up 39 points. So Bogdanovich was straight doing his thing last night, and he just simply could not miss. So Bogdanovich had it going on. It's a good thing LeBron James had that outstanding second quarter where he couldn't seem to miss a basket at all. His shot was looking real good. Of course, Westbrook still had 11, 4, and 9. That gives the Lakers 4 players that was in double digits. And I can't emphasize enough how much it's important to not only have 2 players score all the points, but to have your role players step up. And that's exactly what the Lakers are doing, having 4 and 5 players in double digits. Now, one thing I would like to say is Pat Bev. I'm going to focus on that some more. I don't see why Pat Bev continues to get all these crunch time minutes and continues to be the starter, because it puts the Lakers at a disadvantage. And that's why they, to me, in my opinion, always start off losing the game. You know, losing games and then got to get their way back into it. I mean, at some point, Pat Bev needs to go to the bench. I mean, he's just not starting material at his age, you know. And, at one point, I think, that really stuck out to me what Pat Bev did. The Lakers, I think, pushed it up from 6 to 8. You understand me? So it's like LeBron was in a fast break opportunity and he got the ball. They gave him an outlet pass immediately. I can't remember if it was Lonnie Walker or Austin Reaves or whoever. He, of course, got the rebound, gave it straight to LeBron. LeBron, in high-speed fashion, gets all the way to the rim, coast to coast, and finish it, because we know there's no one better in the open court still, even in year 20, than LeBron James. And yet, on the very next possession after a rebound, Pat Bev get the rebound. Instead of giving the outlet to LeBron, who was running, clearly asking for the ball, he could have probably got a fast break and pushed the lead up from 6 to 8 or 8 to 10 or whatever it was at the point at the moment. But Pat Bev act like he's just a floor general, pushes the ball up and then curves back around all the way back out to the half court line and start running clock like he's setting up some sort of play. It ended up being a bad offensive possession, and the Lakers came away with no points. And then, of course, Detroit went down there and hit a 3 and then cut the lead to like 4. So, the lead could have went to 8 or 10 if Pat Bev would have just gave the ball up to LeBron James. But, of course, he's like, oh, I'm trying to waste time and run time. Listen, in this NBA, it's no time to try to run clock unless you under a minute or something like that, and you or under 2 or 3 minutes when you got a sizable lead. But if you got a lead of 6 or 7 points, man, that's nothing in the NBA anymore. This is not the old school, baby. This is the new school. So, Pat Bev, that was a bad decision by him. It's a bad decision by Darvin Ham to continue giving him crunch time minutes. I do not understand it. I'm so tired of seeing it. The Lakers would be a much better team if they could somehow get rid of Pat Bev and replace him with somebody who could actually shoot the basketball and create something on offense. I understand defense is good, but it's not like he's just playing the best defense in the world anyway. I mean, he's playing better defense than Lonnie Walker, but that's to be expected. That's not what Lonnie Walker's job is. Austin Reaves playing just as good defense as Pat Bev. So let Austin Reaves start. And speaking of Austin Reaves, he hit the big shot. And, of course, people say, LeBron James passed it. LeBron James made the right basketball play. He passed it to his open teammate who came through and did what they were supposed to do. And we saw in a lot of games in LeBron James' career where players simply could not step up and do that. But that's giving Austin Reaves the confidence he needs to continue to move forward and be a better player. And to me, I think he needs to be a starter alongside Lonnie Walker, because you get Lonnie Walker, Austin Reaves, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Dennis Schroeder. You have 5 players in there who can play offense, and then AD, great defense, Austin Reaves, great defense, Dennis Schroeder, great defense, and LeBron James, when he has to, great defense. Lonnie Walker, okay defense. He's rated 5th, actually, on the Lakers as far as his defensive rating. But at the end of the day, man, Lakers going to keep pushing, and we're going to be right here. Like I said, sorry for not being here for the past few days. But like I said, I've been on airplanes back and forth and jet lagged and everything else. So at the end of the day, I'm going to let me know if y'all want me to do a little video on that Zion Wiliams dunk, man. I do want to kind of talk about that and what my opinions is on that. To me, I think he did nothing wrong. Didn't Chris Paul try to go to the hole on the play before that and was still trying to play? So play to the horn. I don't care about that old school rule trying to show somebody out, man. Stop me, and lo and behold, the Pelicans are looking good, and I'm looking forward to the next time the Lakers get that opportunity to go up against them. And the Pelicans, lo and behold, beat Phoenix again yesterday. So they said, what's happening? But anyway, we'll talk more about that. But, leave in the comments below what you feel about the Lakers and their chances of still coming back. Because to me, they was on a roll. They hit a stumbling block, of course, with AD getting sick and things like that are going to happen. But there's no cause for alarm. Or plus, with Wayne and Gabriel being out, it really left them with a big disadvantage, especially in the Cleveland game, because now you had to depend on Thomas Bryant, which Thomas Bryant is playing good, but no Wayne and Gabriel. So then you had Damian Jones, who is just simply not going to be a match for Mobley and for Jared Allen. So at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. But as always, this is your boy B New. I'm saying right on to the real, and much love to these haters. I'm out.